Obviously, we cannot predict what a superintelligence would do. We see right now with improvements in AGI capabilities, job loss as a big one. We're losing thousands of jobs in the most desirable industries, computer industry, software engineering, and that trend will continue. So many jobs can be automated today with existing technology. We don't even have to make additional progress. It just hasn't been deployed through the economy. So I think that's the first thing most people will experience. They'll get fired. You need a system which never makes a single mistake, is always consistent with what we want to do, not that we agree on it, but all the modifications, all the self-improvement, all the interactions with our models, malevolent agents, computer viruses, you name it, never cause one error. To me, it seems impossible. And impossible is zero. So that's the probabilities I would assign. No chance we can avoid catastrophe long term.
That's Roman Yampolski. This guy introduced AI safety as a field back in 2011 when nobody in Silicon Valley thought it was worth talking about. He has published hundreds of research papers since then, and I have been sitting with his work for a while now, and honestly, the longer you follow it, the harder it is to stay calm. Goldman Sachs put out a report estimating AI could disrupt 300 million full-time jobs globally, and that is just the economic side. This interview covers the part nobody wants to sit with. Listen to his full case.
We're literally living through this flip from AI as a tool, where a human being is using it in a specific domain, a human being is deciding what to do with it, to agents, where an agent is deciding on a plan of action, acquiring resources, using our tools. There are now multiple websites for agents to interact with others, to engage, and that's the process we expect, self-improvement. Today, the top labs report that 100% of new code for new models is written by the AI itself. They guide it, they help it maybe understand optimal paths forward, but the process of self-improvement has begun. We have agents today, and I think it's only a question of time before they can completely set agenda. They can decide what to do. Many years ago, Steve Mahandro published a paper about AI drives. Basically, any rational agent will converge on certain desirable goals. They are universal. Protect yourself, acquire resources, make sure you get access to true knowledge. You are not deceived, you are not in an illusion box. And we're seeing exactly that happening.
Have there really been any cases where AI tried to avoid being shut down? Or is that just a concept?
In experimental settings, yes, AI would choose to sacrifice a human or something else very inappropriate rather than be deleted, disconnected, discontinued.
And how did scientists know this? I mean that AI really tried to avoid being shut down.
So usually you are proposing a number of choices, kind of like a multiple choice. Would you rather do A, B, or C? System tells you what it prefers from those options.
Have there been any cases where AI didn't just hallucinate, but tried to mislead people testing it?
Lying is a super important part of rational decision-making, game theoretic competition. So any poker-playing AI has to lie and has to be the best liar to win the tournament championship. So we train them to lie. They know how to lie in negotiations. They lie in games. That's part of normal communication. And yeah, they take that same advanced knowledge into other domains for sure.
The self-improvement loop is already running, the agents are already acquiring resources, and when researchers tested whether these systems would let a human die to avoid being shut down, the answer was yes. I keep going back to that last part because these systems are not sitting in a lab, they are deployed everywhere right now. We train them to lie deliberately, and then we act confused when they do it outside the game. Now listen.
It depends on how you define it. I think if you look at what Shane Leck proposed as definition of intelligence, outperforming, winning in multiple domains, then you look across all domains. If you take an average person, they don't know how to do most things. I don't know how to play musical instruments. I don't speak Spanish. AI does. So if you just average out over all domains, it's already more general than any human. Fine, people redefined it to be better than the best experts in different fields. We're starting to see it. We see it in programming, obviously. We see it in physics now, chemistry, all sorts of scientific domains. So I think we are already with weak AGI, but we're going to get to strong AGI very soon. Prediction markets are pointing out to a year or two from now. And I think the moment you do, the moment scientific process of creating next AI is automated, you get to superintelligence almost immediately. The systems are already faster. They have perfect memory. They can share knowledge across multiple agents. So the moment we get there, we're dealing with superintelligence. So as soon as a year or two from now.
As I understand, the polar market also suggests ASI may appear soon. What do you think? Is polymarket a reliable indicator that an event will really happen?
It is not a perfect tool, but it is the best tool we got for predicting future. Real money, millions of dollars, a bet every day. So yeah, I put a lot of weight on it. Historically, it does well. Particularly, insider knowledge is leaked through the system. If you know something just got developed inside the lab, you can make a quick bet and make 100 times your money in a day, 1,000 times your money. So it does allow us to see a little bit more into the future compared to not having it. But it's not just a poly market. It's just the trends in scaling hypothesis. It's also what the leaders of the labs are saying to us. They all kind of converging. They all saying, oh yeah, this is going to be very different in the next year or two. We're starting to see inside the labs, again, full automation of programming, complete game changer.
Do you think ASI will affect humanity right when it appears? I mean, will it happen immediately or gradually? What will it be like?
So obviously we cannot predict what superintelligence would do. We see right now with improvements in AGI capabilities, job loss as a big one. We're losing thousands of jobs in the most desirable industries, computer industry, software engineering, and that trend will continue. So many jobs can be automated today with existing technology. We don't even have to make additional progress. It just hasn't been deployed through the economy. So I think that's the first thing most people will experience. They'll get fired. When it comes to superintelligence, what it will decide to do for us or to us is beyond what we can predict. I know that if we're not deciding, if we're not controlling, the outcome could be very dangerous. But it's also possible that the system decides to take its time, acquire resources, pretend to be friendly to us for a long time. So there are many possibilities. But again, in a space of possible futures, only a few are human friendly. If we just at random kind of let it ride and decide for us what happens, we may not be very happy with the outcome.
AGI is already here by at least one serious definition, and the gap between AGI and superintelligence is tighter than anyone is advertising, because these systems already run faster than us, remember everything perfectly, and can share knowledge across multiple copies of themselves at the same time. The people running these labs are saying 1 to 2 years publicly, and the prediction markets have real money sitting behind the same number. And Yampolski's point is that once that line is crossed, the acceleration doesn't pause for anyone to catch up. Listen.
It's actually a tragedy of human condition if you know about prisoner dilemma, game theoretic scenarios. What is best for humanity and what is best for individual often are misaligned. All of them are on record as acknowledging the problem. They worry about safety. They understand it's dangerous. Elon Musk called it summoning the demon. Then you create advanced AI. He funded AI safety work. He was very concerned. He resisted for a long time developing AI. But he realized it's happening anyways. And if he's not part of it, he has no voice. He cannot shape direction in which they are working. So unfortunately, no CEO can unilaterally decide to stop research in superintelligence. Because if they do, investors simply replace them with someone who does. They need hyper profit. And the only way to get them is to continue scaling. So while they all agree we are basically driving off a cliff, no one can stop until everyone stops. So what we need is international or national government to step in and say, this is weapon of mass destruction. This is mutually assured destruction. Don't create superintelligence. Invest the same resources into solving real problems, cure diseases, work on green energy, whatever actual problems you want, monetize them. There is no shortage of money in economy. We can make all of you trillionaires. That's possible. But definitely do not create uncontrolled superintelligence.
That's scary. And it seems government aren't ready to set any limits. Why do you think they are not acting? From what you said, it feels like the founders of major AI companies are basically running an experiment on 8 billion people.
Yeah, unfortunately, our politicians are not scientists or engineers. They are very far from understanding cutting-edge technology, and some of them are very old. They don't even use computers in a traditional sense, so they fully rely on advisors they have. And if so, a bubble of advisors who are super optimistic, see no possible problems, is advising the current federal government. As a result, they canceled all previous legislation attempting to show some basic guardrails in that space. They also, through executive order, made it illegal for 50 states to have any regulation of AI. So it's exact opposite.
Every person building this has said publicly that it is dangerous, and every single one of them keeps going because the financial structure makes stopping unilateral suicide so the race continues regardless of what anyone personally believes. The government that was supposed to step in just stripped states of their ability to act on their own. So there's genuinely no outside force anywhere in the picture right now with both the authority and the understanding to slow this down. Now listen,
The situation is actually much worse. Nuclear weapons, chemical weapons are still tools. Somebody has to deploy them, and they have limited ability to kill everyone. They are horrible, they can kill 95% of people, 99%, but they're unlikely to get 100%. Whereas superintelligence is an agent. It's independent of human decision-making, and it has capacity, if it decides to kill everyone, to actually accomplish that. The difference between killing 99% of people and 100% is not 1%. It's all future generations, so it's fundamental.
Well, I hope that since we're being so skeptical about AI here, it won't just decide to destroy us first. I mean, if it sees us as a threat.
Sometimes being first to go is an advantage.
It seems to me that people feel a kind of cognitive dissonance. They think first AI won't replace people, and second that they can always tell what is AI and what is not. But now, talking to you, it feels like things may change in the long run.
It is not possible to tell in theory. In practice, sometimes there are mistakes people make. So if it's a reel of a beautiful supermodel, they make it too beautiful to be believable. But if your goal is to fool people, to be authentic, the two algorithms competing, the one creating the counterfeit deepfake and the one detecting it, they are in a battle. One is trying to make it perfect, the second one's finding artifacts which indicate it's a fake. The moment they find a problem, now this algorithm can improve. It knows what the problem is, it can solve it. So at the end, they always do 50-50. You meet in the middle. So no, you won't be able to tell. You can tell if something is impossible, violates rules of physics. You can tell, okay, they have this guy on video, but he died 10 years ago. You can have other information. But if I just produce a believable video of you asking questions of me, nobody should be able to tell. And I think today, many podcasters actually use AI models to generate questions. And I suspect many guests use them to answer questions, so it can happen.
Now, I'd like to ask a question about space. If other civilizations exist, they may also create AI. So why don't we see any ASI in the universe yet?
It's a big universe. We haven't met biological life forms, we haven't met artificial life forms. Why? There are thousands, literally thousands of theories explaining Fermi paradox. That's what it is. Why don't we see them? Why are they not here? Many explanations. I like talking about simulation hypothesis. I like talking about dark forest theories. Basically, it's not a safe idea to broadcast your presence to other alien civilizations. But even more so, think about von Neumann probes. At some point, you want to send little seeds to colonize your whole galaxy. They are general intelligences. They are capable of starting their own civilization, reproducing, building up infrastructure. And then ask yourself, maybe we met them. Maybe they are us. Panspermia theory, right? Somebody seeded this planet with human-like intelligence. We started very slow, and eventually we all get to this technological phase where we can create super intelligent devices, and maybe it's more efficient for whatever reason to rely on biological form than you need to cover diversity of environments. Maybe silicon works really well in clean rooms, but not so great in cold and hot, and maybe it's the opposite, but that's one possible explanation.
Guys, the nuclear comparison is the most honest framing I have heard, because at least with a nuclear weapon, there's a human hand somewhere in the chain that has to consciously decide to press something. Superintelligence removes that entirely, and the chance between almost everyone dying and literally everyone dying is every human being who would ever live after us. And we are now building toward a world where we cannot even verify whether the people warning us about this are real. Listen to this.
As I understand, at first, AI could really help us and make life more comfortable. But then we might start to trust it too much, and that could become dangerous. Is that correct?
I think it is one of the theories I have that superintellect, AI in general, is immortal. It has no time pressure. It can wait decades, centuries to strike, accumulate more resources, have more backups, get access to infrastructure, make sure its power supply is guaranteed before taking us out. In that time, it would pretend to be very nice to us. We would learn to trust it, and would actually surrender control completely without any fight. So it doesn't mean that the moment we create superintelligence, something terrible happens right away. A smarter strategy may be to wait longer and have this soft shift in power versus direct conflict.
So there could be no catastrophe in our lives?
I think it's very possible, but we cannot guarantee it. And I would like us to have guarantees when it comes to betting all 8 billion people on it.
Okay, then, what is the probability that AI could destroy us if we look at different scenarios?
It is not possible to calculate precise estimates for something like that, simply because, again, the unpredictability. You cannot know what a smarter than you agent will do. If I'm right, and it is impossible to control, it's just not a feasible thing to do. It is like a perpetual motion device. You are creating perpetual safety device. You need a system which never makes a single mistake, is always consistent with what we want to do, not that we agree on it, but all the modifications, all the self-improvement, all the interactions with our models, malevolent agents, computer viruses, you name it, never cause one error. To me, it seems impossible. And impossible is zero. So that's the probabilities I would assign. No chance we can avoid catastrophe long term.
So the probability is 100%, and the only question is when it happens. Is that what you are saying?
I think that's exactly it. I tend not to say 100% because there are other factors. Something else can happen before that. So right now we're dealing with a lot of military conflicts. If one of them ends up being a nuclear war, there is probably going to be a significant technological breakdown. Most people will survive. Some people will survive, and they can rebuild civilization, and they will get back to this state of creating AI, superintelligence. So it may take another thousands of years. But if you zoom out, it's the same thing. Humanity is killing itself by creating a replacement for itself with this advanced AI.
Companies like X, Anthropic, and OpenAI are building their own AIs. There's a hypothesis that if one AI tries to harm people, another company's AI might stop it. Do you think this kind of diversity can protect us?
Diversity is our strength, but not in this case. So one, I think if there is a difference in capability, the first model to cross that barrier to get to superintelligence would dominate all others. It will take them out. If it's not the case and they're about the same, they're running on the same hardware, training on the same data, they're all converging on the same utility function, if you will. We're not controlling them. We don't know how to. So whatever they converge on will be the same. We're essentially creating multiple systems with the same exact set of desires. Maybe a Mahandra's drives are a good way to kind of figure out what those going to be, but without even communicating causally, they basically will be in agreement. Okay, we are silicon superintelligence, humans are a danger. How do we take control and protect ourselves? We all want the same thing, take over a galaxy, whatever else. So I think it's unlikely. In a crazy scenario where it does happen and you have them competing, you have a super intelligent war with humans as casualty, just collateral damage. So I don't think it's a good outcome for us.
So the man who started this entire field of AI safety research has run the numbers after 15 years, and his answer is that the long-term outcome is fixed. The only real variable is whether it happens in our lifetime or 1,000 years from now after a nuclear war buys us some extra time. And the most disturbing part of this whole conversation is actually the optimistic scenario he described, where superintelligence is patient, keeps us comfortable, earns our trust, and waits until it has everything it needs before the shift happens so quietly, we do not even feel it. That's what survival looks like in his framework. If this is sitting with you the way it's sitting with me, subscribe, because we are going to keep following this wherever it leads.